noting.
Yeah, man. When poverty was 12% and change, all of a sudden it's now down to 8%.
The graph that the Prime Minister showed on the 20th of March, 2025, said poverty was at 12.3% in 2023. And for 2024, it was 12.1%. And those numbers, the Prime Minister said, was coming from the PIOJ. So how now we're getting different numbers from the PIOJ? Which one is true?
Precisely. As I said, Wayne, his job is to make the people feel good. He's been a political director general, not an economic director general. We saw that with the recession. We saw that with most of the things. And as I said, them always front load starting, then come out before starting. So people take their data as gospel. So when even starting come out and say, well, write down that and that is not so. I mean, that gone through the gate already. So that's why you have to have critical people like us to tell the people, say, that's not the function of the Planning Institute of Jamaica. They must not tell the people about the cost-benefit analysis that Peter Bunting asked them to do on the mining sector. Oh, no, we can't get that. Instead,
no, we can't.
Yeah. Instead of a front run starting with GDP data, although they know that's not their mandate. That's not the mandate of the Planning Institute of Jamaica. So I'm not afraid to Henry. I'm not afraid to say that.
Senator Bunting, you say you're going to have to go shortly, but let me ask you this straight and directly. The murder figures that we are getting in Jamaica, do you believe them?
Well, I believe that there has been a decline this year.
Yes.
So what I have asked the commissioner publicly to do is they came out, I think it was a story in one of the newspapers, that there's about a backlog of between 450 and 500 cases that are called death investigations or classified as death investigations or undetermined deaths, these sorts of classifications. Until the postmortems are done, the postmortems primarily, the forensic pathologists and investigators conclude, we don't know what the actual figures are. I have suggested that what we need to do is to work through that backlog as quickly as possible so that we can have confidence.
And you're saying that there's how much in that backlog?
I don't have evidence to make a conclusion one way or the other.
How much you say is in that backlog?
In the interest of the public to get those cleared up.
How much you say is in that backlog, Senator?
I think the figure was between 450 and 500. I don't remember the precise figure, but it was between 450 and 500.
And that's coming from when?
That will be coming from maybe late last year.
2024 to now?
Yes.
That's a lot, even if it's 400.
It is a lot. It is a lot. So we need to resolve that. Now, some may be, some may be natural causes, for example, but some may also be ultimately classified as murders. So we need to have full transparency there to really know the precise figures.
Ralston, you were saying something?
Yeah, I'm saying I agree with that. What I get is a slow good news because the election are drawing near. So all of the public sector agencies, the police, the PIOJ, the Bank of Jamaica, giving us good news because them think them can dupe the people. Because even the rate reduction by the Bank of Jamaica is a major policy error. The Federal Reserve Board, the world's most powerful independent central bank, with a balance sheet about $8 trillion. Say them have to wait. Them just meet about a week ago and say, the consensus from the Board of Governors is that we have to wait and assess the inflationary impact of the Trump tariff policy. Because up to yesterday, the market stank again because Trump talked about tariffs on Apple and all of them something. Governor Biden said he spent $1.1 billion US between April of last year and April of this year and mop up billions of Jamaican dollars in order to prevent the currency from depreciating by more than 2%. He said also the people in the commercial banking sector have not been responding to his rate reduction. Yet he still reduced the interest rates, although he knows that there will be no pass-through to the people on the ground.
But Ralston, remind me if I'm wrong, but I seem to recall when Bank of Jamaica was being pressured to reduce rates based on our local inflation going down, we were told by Bank of Jamaica that the Fed rate was in effect a floor.
You get
and
the
they
point.
had to maintain
You
a
get the point.
margin
You get
above
the point.
the Federate.
Precise.
So I must tell you, I was surprised because
Of
the
course.
Federate hasn't moved. And
Precisely.
yet somehow
They move down. Yeah. It's a political decision. Yeah. So the governor gone near the politics too. It's a political decision them take. Yeah. Rubbish.
So who's going to
Yeah.
benefit from that?
Eh?
Who's going to benefit from that?
Nobody except the banks.
and the government, because
Yep.
it gives them one more good news announcement.
Precisely.
That
That's what
people
it's
might
about.
think.
Yeah.
People might think will translate to their interest bill, but in
Precisely.
reality, that won't happen. But
No.
Justin, I said something at the town hall in Mandeville on
Thursday.
night. I said, this is a government of propaganda,
Yeah, man.
misinformation, and lies.
Yeah, man.
But
Yeah, man.
for the average person, you can't use propaganda, misinformation, and lies and pay your grocery bill.
No.
You can't use it and pay your light bill.
No.
You can't use it and pay the taxi man
No.
to go from one point to the other. So
Yeah.
they know that in their everyday life, they're not feeling this. They're not seeing where this is benefiting them.
Precisely.
So, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, man.
I believe
No,
to maintain this.
Yeah, man.